Hey guys, welcome to this section on Excel worksheet basics. So in our previous class, we saw how we were able to create a new workbook, and we named the workbook My First Workbook. And in that workbook, the workbook had two sheets, and the sheet were sheet 1 and sheet 2. So for us to create additional sheet, what we just need to do is to click on the plus sign, and we'll create another sheet. So the plus sign can be used to create a new sheet, but if you don't want to go through that process, you can just right click. Take for instance, I want to create a new sheet. I can just right click. Then when I right click, I'll go straight to insert. Then I'll select worksheet and I'll click OK. That will give me sheet 4. So this is how we can create new worksheet. The next thing is that we don't want this sheet name to be called sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and sheet 4 because it doesn't really make meaning to any of us. So what we might want to do right now is to rename this sheet. So there are two ways to do that. One of the ways to do that is to right click and select rename. I am renaming this to first, and I'll just press enter. Then having done that, the other way I can also rename the sheet is to double click on it, and I can type second, which is shorter. Double click on it again, type third. I'm just calling it the name I feel like, and I can call this fourth, just my own way of renaming my own sheet. So this is first, second, third, and fourth. So this is how we can rename our sheet. I can move the sheet from one end to another end. How do I get that done? I can get that done by right clicking, and I'll select move. So I can just right click on it and move the sheet from the first sheet to the end. So I can select the first sheet and I can say move to the end. So if I click OK, you can see the first sheet has been moved to the end. Now the second way I can do this, which is the easiest, is for me to click right click. Now you can see that black arrow showing, okay, like an angle showing. I can now drag and move. You can see it's moving. So I can take the second and put it here. So this gives me that flexibility. So I can move second this way. I can also take the first and move backward and take it to first. So I can just move my sheet the way I want to move my sheet. The other thing we also want to look at is if I want to copy a sheet, what do I do? So I can come to the sheet here, right click here and select move or copy. So I can select, maybe I want to create a new copy of the second sheet. I can click on the second and I can click on create a copy. Then I can click OK. Now you can see the second sheet has been created and with bracket too. So let me just rename this by double clicking on this and backspacing that. Then I'll type maybe the fifth sheet. Okay, so this is how we can create, we can rename, and we can as well move our sheet. The last but not the least thing we'll be looking at here is how do I make sure this sheet looks colorful. So I can right click and go straight to tab, and I can select green for this. That becomes green. Maybe I go straight to tab again. I can select maybe another color for this, just like that. So we can as well make our sheet look the tabs of our sheet look colorful to indicate whatever we are working on based on the organization. So this is how we do that. Okay, so we've been able to name our sheet. Also, we've been able to move our sheet from one point to the other. We've been able to make it look very beautiful. So you can see that the sheets, all of them are looking very beautiful. Another thing we can do to the sheet is that we can hide a sheet. So if I want to hide the fifth sheet, all I need to do is to right click and I'll select hide. So the fifth sheet has been hidden. So how can I see this hidden sheet? I can just right click again and I'll say unhide. So it will unhide that fifth sheet. So it's showing me the sheet. Okay, so I'll now click OK. That's the sheet I want to unhide. So you can see the fifth sheet is back. So we can hide certain sheets. Maybe you don't want the user to see the sheet, you can do that by right clicking and hiding the sheet. So these are some of the basic manipulation that we can do to the sheet. We can, if you want to delete any sheet, you can right click and you click delete, and that deletes the 5th sheet. So we can delete, we can rename, we can move, we can copy a sheet. Thank you. See you in the next class when we'll talk about how we enter data in our sheet.